It's the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting. It feels like too long, Jerry.
It's been like a week.
It's been exactly a week.
I don't want to be referred to as Jerry anymore. I want to be known as the Abominable Strowman.
That is a clever nickname for Braun, I think. Lots of stuff to talk about from this week. How do you want to start? Because I know we've kind of got into a groove of going chronologically, but we don't have to keep that going.
Right. Can we just, for once, can we start without Raw? Let's start with, just quickly, Paige proposed Alberto Del Rio. They're a hot mess, and it just keeps getting hotter.
Love it. They are loving their pig and crap lifestyle.
Oh, my God. It's a mess. I feel like a year ago, she was riding super high in the WWE.
She was.
And since then, it's just been... Pow,
I mean,
how
relatable is that to you? I know so many people, I'll say girls, they seem to almost always be girls who really make these crazy sacrifices that everyone seems to know is really stupid, except for them when they fall in love.
Right. And well, I know a lot of guys that have ruined everything just because of their pants. But
true.
I don't think that's what's going on with Alberto Del Rio. Women will do it. Men will do it for sex. Women will do it for love. And I think she thinks she's in love with Alberto Del Rio, and her whole life is falling apart.
Well, she might be. And, well, first of all, I don't think Alberto Del Rio has anything to lose. But Paige has a career with the biggest wrestling organization on the planet to lose. Right.
But he did, too. Was he not liked backstage? Because I feel like they're typically pretty forgiving with that wellness policy. And I mean, they'll punish you, but they won't necessarily just release you. They just released him.
Okay, no. That is not what happened with Alberto Del Rio. This, in my opinion, has nothing to do with his wellness violation. It has everything to do with he wanted to leave.
Okay.
So he did not have anything to lose. I think they would have. He was promised bigger and better things for his return and had an out clause put into his contract at the 1 year mark or at the 11-month mark, and he wanted out. The 11-month mark or whatever happened at right at the end of his suspension. So when the suspension happened, everyone was saying this will be it for him. Now Paige does have a lot to lose.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, and I'm not even saying she's not in love or that her relationship is stupid, but she's handling her business stupidly.
Yeah, she's handling it like a teenager. Now, she is currently still employed by the WWE.
You wouldn't know it from her Twitter.
No, she's just asking for it. And I think they're waiting for the suspension to be over and then bye. There's something legal going on. They're getting ready to write it up for her, I'm sure.
And I'm not sure she wants to be there. Like, I don't think she's going to be crying when that day comes. I think she's doing everything she can without asking for her release to ask for her release.
Yeah, is she allowed to show up at those events or whatever, like that WWC event or whatever?
Boy, that would depend on her contract, but it's not going to look good.
Can't imagine, even if it is to propose.
She can't compete. I know that. At least I would assume that.
Listen, I feel like she'd get lost in the shuffle anyways in the women's division, especially if she was on Raw.
Yeah.
There's no room on Raw. On SmackDown, some of the women have a chance because it's so thin, but on Raw, there's absolutely no room at the end. It's Sasha Banks, Charlotte, then you've got Bayley now, and you've got Dana Brooke doing really well.
Look,
so there's just no room.
When she came into the women's division was here, and then Paige came in and was here, and now the women's division is way up here, but yeah. Paige is still right here, in my opinion. So yeah, she will get lost in the shuffle, but even still, she's not worth what she thinks she is, I guess, because she's being foolish. So there's that. I do think that she's being foolish there. Any other big news you want to talk about? I'm trying to think if there's anything huge that jumped out at me this week. The Paige thing seems to be the biggest.
I completely missed SmackDown last week because I've been playing 2K17 too much.
Are you gonna watch it?
I am. I completely meant to. I'm caught up on Raw. I watched Raw last night, but like SmackDown, I haven't watched it. I've been playing that video game. Like, I'm addicted to it.
How is that? By the way, I have a proposal for you regarding that, but how's the game?
I know you don't like those games, but I love it. And I've liked them for a while. And it just keeps improving and keeps getting better. There were a lot of things boring about it last year, and they've improved. There are things to improve. Very glitchy. I mean, you sent me a video today of some glitches.
Yeah.
There are way more glitches than that video you sent me shows.
They're notorious for being glitchy.
Oh my gosh, there's one where, like, you can break out. Okay, so while during someone's entrance, you can break out and get out of the ring and attack them before the bell, and you can attack them with weapons, and it's cool. And so during their entrance, you can attack them. But if you attack Bray Wyatt, everything's dark. Okay, everything is black until you hit them, and then the lights come up. When you break out on Bray Wyatt, you'll get out of the ring, and when the lights come up, you're still completely black. Like, I was just a shadow. I was a Goldberg shadow fighting Bray Wyatt, and it never fixed itself.
That's funny. Yeah, I've always heard stories like that. It's just crazy. So you're enjoying it though?
I'm enjoying it. I'm marking out because I bought the game early so I could be Goldberg. I mean, that leads us to Raw. I mark out over Goldberg, and I know a lot of people don't anymore. And I think a lot of the post-show guys don't care for him. I do. It's almost like a guilty pleasure. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed at how much I love Goldberg.
First of all, don't be ashamed to claim that, because there's nothing wrong with it. I don't consider myself a mark for Goldberg. I never liked Goldberg in WCW. Never really did. But let me tell you the way I feel about him and about this situation. So I'm very much in favor of this return, I guess you can call it. I predict it will just be for one match, although it wouldn't shock me if he stuck around for a few more. This will be well done, I think. I do think that WWE actually knew what to do with Goldberg better than WCW. WCW made him a star, but they didn't know really what to do with him once he became one. They were great.
They didn't know what to do with the guy after he lost a match. Like, it's easy to push a guy to 173-0, but then when he loses a match, you still got to keep him relevant.
Yeah, that's a really good way to do it. They didn't know what to do after his first loss, and WWE did. I still maintain he had that 1 year from WrestleMania 19 through WrestleMania 20 that, while it wasn't riddled with amazing matches, it was a fine run for 1 year that really is not bad to look back on as a fan.
I would have thought that you would have a lot of resentment towards Goldberg because he essentially ended the career of your favorite wrestler.
I did for a long time. But I'm not gonna. Yeah, yes, that much is true, but I'm not gonna let that affect my enjoyment of his in-ring work. It was what it was, but
and I thought last night was great because he's not super great on the mic. He's not super smooth. I thought that, like, I was dying at one point for Michael Cole to say something. Like, he was letting the chanting go on too long. And I was like, come on, Cole. Like, it's been 4 minutes now. Let's say something. And then he moves it over to Goldberg. Goldberg, he didn't say anything super special, but he meant it. Like, it really felt like one of those special moments where he was having a moment with the audience. It was super cool. And then when he said, "You're not just next, you're last,"
yeah,
I got goosebumps. I was like, yeah! Took my shirt off. I almost shaved my head.
Well, I do think that I agree with what you said. I think you took the words right out of my mouth as far as it wasn't like the best promo of all time, but it's not supposed to be. It was fine for what it was supposed to be, and it was good. It felt magical to me. Like, and it was one of those rare moments. Like, I don't know, like when Bret Hart came back, I never thought I'd see it. I never expected to see a moment like this, and the fans went crazy for it last night. It was really well done.
And kudos to Denver. That crowd was cool all night.
How about their governor?
Yeah.
Is he not the biggest mark you've ever seen?
He is the biggest mark. He's so good.
Good for him, right?
And I like the and I like the New Day, how they said you're legal. WWE Tag Team Champions. They threw out the 420. They mentioned the Munchies. They were just nodding all over the place to Denver and the legality of certain things there.
Yeah, they were doing well last night. I'm actually excited going into Hell in a Cell to see their match with Sheamus and Cesaro. I'm into that team too, so that's going well.
I'm coming along on that. And one more thing with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. You and I know you agree with me. Can we just applaud the WWE, because it seems as if they're giving us the 2016 version of a slow build. We're getting a nice, slow, monumental, meaningful build to a feud.
I won't applaud that. I'll tell you why. The reason we're getting a slow build is because we have to. For two reasons. One is we have to make this last until Survivor Series. And two is they cost so much to get them onto a show that's why it's happening. But yeah, you know, I guarantee you by the time it rolls around, I'll be ready for it and satisfied.
I'll tell you, I'm a big mark for Hell in the Cell matches, but with the 3 Survivor Series style matches, I don't even know who's in them yet, and the potential of the Goldberg Brock Lesnar main event, I'm more excited for Survivor Series than I have been in forever. I'm more excited than I am for Hell in the Cell. Like, I'm super pumped.
What you said 3 Survivor Series matches. I know of, I think, 1. How do you know of 3?
They're good because SmackDown challenged them to a Survivor Series style match with tag teams, with women and with men.
Oh, okay. Now I'm with you. Okay, gotcha.
So it will be Raw versus SmackDown essentially on Survivor Series. There'll be a tag team Survivor Series match. There'll be a women's Survivor Series match and a men's Survivor Series match.
What was the first one you said?
Tag teams.
Okay, yeah, that's great. I want the focus as much to be on 5-on-5 elimination matches as possible. The elimination style. That's what I want out of a Survivor Series.
And if I may misunderstand it, and I'm sure Steve or Mike or someone will help us out, I'm pretty sure they're taking 5 tag teams a show. So, hey,
cool.
That'll be insane.
Oh, so I don't know about this tag team match. So is it 5 Raw teams versus 5 SmackDown teams?
Yes.
Well, keep in mind, this used to happen back in the day. In fact, back in the day, they've used 10 teams before.
Yeah, I'm totally in. So 5 SmackDown dudes versus 5 SmackDown Raw guys, or 5 Raw guys, 5 Raw girls versus 5 SmackDown girls, and then tag teams versus tag teams.
And then you got Goldberg and Lesnar on top of all that.
Does that not look like a great Survivor Series?
But that's not even in the next show.
No, I know.
Jerry's going to get one more predictions episode right before that.
Yeah. I'm going to nail Hell in the Cell, by the way.
I know you are. I'm expecting it. So let's talk about things at the start of the show last night. Raw was, I'd call it, it was a decent show. It was one of those that could have been 2 hours. A lot that happened in the middle, unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know, if you fast forwarded a little bit, you may have been in the better. I don't do that, but the lot that happened in the middle was kind of forgettable. Jericho, I want to compliment him again. Jericho has always been good. One thing that he does probably better than anybody else. Can you think of one person who does this better? Jericho milks his big victories for years, and in this case, even decades. How many times have we heard about him beating Austin and Rock in the same night, beating people at WrestleMania like Shawn Michaels,
beating The Undertaker,
being the first Universal Champion? When he gets something special, he will hang on to that for a long time, and that's good. I'm using this as praise.
As he should. Like, I love it. Him and KO, they turned a corner last night as far as their team goes, because they showed a little division, but they stayed together. And Jericho kind of said, "I'm not a lackey. You know, I'm not your sidekick. I'm a 6-time. 6-time." He must have said, if he said it once, he said it a dozen times, reminding Kevin Owens, like, "I've been here, Bubby. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if I want that, I'll take it."
And so, it was just the right amount of dissension, too. It wasn't enough like that I feel like they're going to split anytime soon. It was the perfect amount, just a pinch of dissension.
Yeah, just enough that, like, I wouldn't be surprised to see it all blow up by Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be surprised if it happened by Survivor Series?
Yeah, I'd be a little disappointed, I think, because they've got something special going.
And I feel like, see, this is a good definition, especially in the modern day, of a slow build. When they ultimately face off for the title, this will be a slow build.
Yeah, and I hope they do face off for the title
at some point, right? So there's that. I thought they were trying, you know that line from the movie Mean Girls, "Stop trying to make fetch happen."
Yeah,
I feel like they're trying to really make Sparkle Crotch happen.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't remember what he had said, but Roman Reigns did that a while ago. Remember that?
Oh, it was something with Sheamus. It was oh God, yeah, I remember. I talked about it with Steve.
Yeah, I remember you and Steve banging on it, and that's what I thought Sparkle Crotch was. Now, he got a little more help from the crowd.
Steve, if you remember, text me, please.
Yeah, he remembered. He got some help from the crowd, but I just didn't like Sparkle Crotch. It was okay.
But also, the way that happened, though, I made the note, last night was the very first time I thought Seth Rollins was acting like a true babyface. Like trying to get the crowd to chant along something towards a heel. Like, that's a babyface kind of move. And
it's happened.
Yeah.
He's a face now.
He's kind of been babyface by happenstance. Oh, Steve's right. Tater tots.
Tater tots.
That's what it was.
I knew it.
You nailed it, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
This one, I felt like it kind of tater totty. This might stick around a little longer, but they were just really trying to make it stick. And I feel like when it happens naturally, that's like the Rock way of doing it. That's the right way to do it. And then there's the tater tot way to do it. And this was the tater tot way.
I feel like everyone's they're learning from Jericho, because Jericho's been able to do it a couple weeks in a row here. He's nailed it with it, and you've made the list. Like, whenever he's got a couple things he can go to now that just get a huge pop. And I think Rollins is like, well, I want to have one. How about it be Sparkle Crotch? Yeah. So I'll say that a dozen times, but it doesn't always work like that.
And it doesn't feel Seth Rollins like to me. That feels Rock like to me.
I was really happy to know. Thank you so much for sending me the Talk is Jericho podcast of him and Kevin Owens. That was great. And they mentioned that the it thing was by accident. How Kevin Owens doesn't laugh. I don't know how he doesn't break down laughing when that first happens, because it was Alberto Del Rio or whatever. He was like, "You're going to get it." And Owens was like, "What's he going to get?" And he didn't even know what he was going to say. And he goes, "It." And I don't know how you don't all laugh and break character on that. That's so funny.
That's their job.
He's so good. Jericho's so good. He's my favorite on the roster.
You know what? That's a great choice. Although I think, well, you know what? Maybe I was going to say you love Owens.
Well, Owens is my favorite champion. I think I want him to be champion more than I want Jericho to be champion. But when Jericho comes out, I just enjoy him so much.
And you love Enzo, but you might enjoy Jericho more now.
I do. Yeah. I definitely do.
Speaking of which, the list of Jericho, another subtle thing he's doing, it keeps getting more elaborate physically. Have you been noticing this?
Yes, it's a big binder. It's got its own logo.
Yeah, but this time it was like pro done, as opposed to like last week where it was a nice elaborate logo, but it seemed like handmade by Chris. This time it was like pro made by like a print shop or something.
Right. So I think I love that I just love that the subtle things, like he says Chris and Kevin says Kevin and Chris. Yeah. And I feel like if we went to a show and we were front row, I'd want a sign that said Kevin and Chris, and you could hold up a sign that said Chris and Kevin. I think they'd love that.
Absolutely. So unless you have more about Jericho and stuff, I was going to move on to the next topic.
Move on. It's good.
Okay. So it looks like they're giving Bo Dallas a little push, but
yeah, they're making him look like a monster. I wish they'd let him put down the Bo Leave stuff.
Look, remember the thing is, it's just like, I know well enough that it's just not going to last long.
No.
That's my only thing. I just know going into this, it's not going to last long.
They're giving him some credit, and he's performing pretty well. He's looked pretty good. He looks better than he has. But I don't know. I agree with you.
But it was something. I mean, like watching him split up with Curtis Axel was something. Even though I think people probably didn't even realize they were a team. Right.
So now you're going to have Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas fighting on the pre-show of Hell in a Cell, probably.
Did you catch? It's probably their destiny. Did you catch the Charlotte interview with who was it, Lita?
I did.
I hate saying this because I feel like it comes off very badly, but when does Charlotte's pimple get her own entrance?
Oh my God.
I'm not the only one who notices this, right?
That's not a pimple, dude. I think that's like a birth thingy.
I think it's a tag team partner.
It's like a birth. It's like she's constantly in handicap matches.
That's permanent?
Yeah, it's like a birthmark or a wart, or it's like a thing. I think it's a thing that's always going to be there forever.
Okay, if that is permanent and I've never noticed it, I sincerely apologize because
it's been there for a long time, but I do think it's getting bigger. I think you're right. I think it's growing.
My bad. And by the way, from another, I want to update a former apology. It was like,
I feel like next week you're going to offer a formal apology to Charlotte and her giant, like, Siamese twin that's coming out of her face.
I wanted to update an apology. I didn't say offer an apology. I wanted to amend. Remember when I went hard on the Spanish heritage videos they're doing?
Yeah, and you made fun of them for posting a video on a dead guy.
No, I didn't. The one I was talking about was like a singer. I don't remember who it was. There was like Jose Feliciano or like it was some Latin singer. Why are we getting the videos for Latin singers?
I don't know.
That's my
Latin appreciation.
And so I was like, after the video was over, I was like, I don't think that the dead baseball player Jerry mentioned was the guy that I wouldn't have had that feeling about that baseball player. And I was right. It wasn't the baseball player.
Okay.
So anyway, I just wanted to update that.
We need a segment called Rob is not as big a jerk as you think.
Or Rob is not as sorry as he once said he was.
Rob's no longer sorry. Dun, 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 dun,
when he's going to produce and everything. The abominable Strowman had, first of all, I thought that was a decent nickname. What did you think?
I don't know. I wish it had come out of someone other than Corey Graves' mouth. I was like, you suck.
He had the line of the night, actually in that same segment. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Say it. I'm not sure.
All right. Line of the night, Corey Graves. And again, legitimate. I don't like him as a commentator, but it is a legit line of the night that he had last night. And he delivered it flawlessly. He was talking about one of the jobbers in that Mile High trio.
Yeah.
And the guy who kind of looked like No Way Jose, he had the perfect line. I thought that was No Way Jose's less threatening cousin, perhaps not Jorge.
I missed that.
Perfect. I thought that was perfect. So I love that. And then I wanted to mention that Braun had this Beal on the show that looked like something straight out of ECW from the 90s.
Did he?
Did you miss the big Beal? Did you watch the match? There was a huge.
I watched it.
The Beal out of the ring. Remember when he sent the guy flying?
Oh yeah, he threw the guy.
Did that not remind you of like Bam Bam Bigelow and Spike Dudley from ECW?
Yeah. I like it. I like him squashing guys like this. He's gonna throw Sami Zayn all over the place.
Look, I liked it when Ryback was doing it with the jobbers, and I like it when Strowman's doing it. It's getting to be time to move forward. Obviously, we saw some forward movement here, and I think I'm in favor of a Strowman-Zayn feud.
I'm excited about it. I think it can benefit both of them.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're both in a weird place right now where they could benefit from a legit opponent, and I think that this is a good spot for both of them.
I don't know how I'd book it because they both need a win, so I'm glad it's not my job to figure that out.
Yeah, because I feel like a big loss after a feud like this to Strowman for Zayn could be devastating.
Right. It's the first real opponent for Strowman. He needs to win it, but Zayn needs to not lose all the time.
Yeah. So, but I could get into a feud with theirs. I bet you Zayn could do good with a really big guy like that. And
conspicuous by her absence. Your girlfriend didn't show up.
Yeah, Nia Jax wasn't there. And while last week I thought we were kind of reaching at straws to bring her up, this time I feel like 2 weeks without her is it's kind of worth talking about. Where has she been?
You want to know?
Yeah, tell me.
Why don't you ask her?
All right, Nia, where have you been, sweetheart?
Well, I've been getting my nails did, and I've been getting my toenails did, and I've been lifting weights. I've been eating lots of bacon, and I'm ready to get back into the ring, Rob. I thought we were going to go out to a nice seafood dinner. I thought you were going to take me out, but you didn't.
Where have you? Okay, so you've been lifting weights. Where are you? Are you in a city?
Des Moines, Iowa.
And why are you in Des Moines?
Because I thought it was Evansville, Indiana. I'm looking for you, Rob.
Women and their directions.
I'm looking for you.
And what will you do when you find me?
Give you the biggest hug and a kiss. I miss you so much. I miss your touch.
But I've never even seen you before.
But I miss it.
Actually, you did. I was just a few feet away from you in Evansville a few weeks ago.
I noticed. I saw it. I got distracted. I noticed.
Okay, and now in all seriousness, where has she been? Okay, now joke's over, Nia. Where have you been? Why haven't you been on television?
I don't know. They won't write me into the stuff. I'm not.
I mean,
I've been in catering, seething like a son of a gun because I want to be in hell in the cell. This is stupid.
Well, I don't know where she's been, but I feel like she's been gone. Well done, by the way. Nice prop.
You made fun of my drawing last week, but you notice how you can see the ruler.
All I see is the ruler. I was going to say, all I see is a ruler.
I can't win.
Jerry's holding up a ruler with nothing on it. Oh, God.
Rob. Come on, Rob. Yeah. Put me on. At least put me on WWE Superstars or something.
She's getting more time on Post to Post than she does on Raw. Good stuff. All right, I've only got a few more minutes before I have to get out of here. Lana, what the is going on with her? She looks so good every week.
She's getting better and better. Marriage becomes her.
Yes.
Ever since she got married, she got so much better looking than she already was. And Rusev's facial hair keeps getting more and more ridiculous.
I liked his family segment. It seemed very Borat to me. And then I thought it was all fake until we got to the real family photos, and like, oh my God, this has all been real, I think.
Yeah, I think so, but he's not of Russian descent, like for real.
Oh, I don't know. But I felt like that was actually his mom and dad and family, but I don't know for sure.
I felt like Roman Reigns missed a perfect opportunity at a funny joke, and Jericho wouldn't have missed it. He said when he was like, your dad with the dumb mustache, and then he said, and your mom. He should have said, and your mom with the dumb mustache.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
I was like, you missed it, you dummy.
Listen, comedy is certainly not. I don't think wrestling is Roman Reigns' thing. Comedy is certainly not his thing.
Not his forte.
I love the cruiserweights, but where the F is Jack Gallagher?
Yeah, we were promised Jack Gallagher.
I don't think I've forgotten WWE. You're on the list.
Maybe they're waiting to bring him in, give him some, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of room for them right now. So maybe they're waiting. I feel like wherever he is, Mike will know in the post show. Mike sure will know. Mike follows all of those things. And then, one thing I want to mention while we were talking about Goldberg is, God bless these 2K video games, because not only did they bring Sting over to WWE, but now they brought Goldberg over. I know. I just hope Gilbert shows up at some point. That could, that's totally possible. That would be so good. All right, man, dude. Thank you very much, and I love the Nia Jax impression. This time was fantastic. We love you too, Rob. So, for myself, for my tag team partner Ramblin' Jerry V, and for my sweetheart Nia Jax, the ruler. Kissy, kissy.
All I see is a ruler. All I see is a ruler.
Here, I'll just do this.